Our history books usually give us a wide-ranging perspective on human events, spotlighting notable individuals and significant happenings. Still, within the vast panorama of the past, there are many captivating, lesser-known details that rarely make it into traditional learning. This video uncovers 10 such historical facts, inviting viewers into a realm rich with peculiar circumstances, pleasant surprises, and vital but overlooked knowledge. We'll delve into a variety of times and places, revealing what standard classrooms might not teach while ensuring our historical journey stays appropriate for all viewers. Number 1. The misunderstood role of Vikings. Vikings, often depicted as brutal raiders from the north wearing horned helmets, are more complicated than the stereotype suggests. While Vikings did participate in raids, they were also traders, explorers, and settlers. The Viking Age, roughly from AD 800 to 1050, was a period of notable exploration where Vikings reached as far as North America, well before Columbus. Moreover, archaeological findings demonstrate that Viking societies had a refined art style and engaged in farming and fishing when they weren't exploring or trading. The horned helmets so commonly associated with Vikings are a 19th century Romanticism fabrication. Actual Viking helmets, according to archaeological discoveries, had no horns. Number 2. The Great Emu War of Australia. If you believe wars are only fought among humans, you might be surprised by an unusual conflict that happened in Australia in the 1930s, often referred to as the Great Emu War. After World War I, Australia was dealing with an agricultural crisis exacerbated by an unexpected foe: emus. These large, flightless birds migrated inland each breeding season, and they found the newly cultivated lands of Western Australian farmers especially appealing, leading to significant crop damage. Aggravated by the escalating situation, the farmers, many of whom were ex-soldiers, appealed to the Australian government for help. In response, the government sent a small military force armed with machine guns in an attempt to cull the emu population. However, the resilient and fast-moving emus proved a difficult opponent. Public backlash over the treatment of the birds and the military's lack of success resulted in the operation being withdrawn. Eventually, the government chose a bounty system to manage the emu population, which proved more effective. This quirky episode in Australian history highlights the unexpected challenges of agricultural management and human-animal conflict. Number 3. Washington's troublesome teeth. George Washington, the first president of the United States, is typically portrayed with a stoic demeanor, a perception that hides his years of oral health problems. Contrary to popular belief, Washington did not have wooden teeth. His dentures were made from a mix of materials, including gold, lead, ivory, and even teeth from humans and animals. Washington suffered from dental issues since his 20s, and by the time he took the presidential oath, he had only one natural tooth remaining. His dental problems led to significant discomfort and even altered the shape of his face. It's believed that the discomfort might have influenced his relatively brief speeches. His inaugural address is still the shortest in U.S. history. His dental issues also affected his personal life and political image. He often preferred to stay silent in public gatherings, earning him a reputation for being aloof. These historical anecdotes about Washington remind us that even great figures wrestle with mundane yet essential aspects of human health. Number 4. The Dancing Plague of 1518. In July 1518, the city of Strasbourg, now part of France, was gripped by a strange event known as the Dancing Plague. It started with one woman, Frau Trophia, who started dancing energetically in the streets. For some reason, her solo dance turned contagious, and within a month, as many as 400 citizens were gripped by this relentless desire to dance. This dancing craze lasted for days, with those affected collapsing from tiredness and, in some severe cases, even dying. Contemporary explanations ranged from divine judgment to overheated blood. Modern theories suggest mass hysteria or ergotism, a condition caused by consuming certain fungus-infected rye, as potential causes. While the exact cause remains a mystery, the Dancing Plague of 1518 serves as a strange and captivating example of social phenomena and human psychology. It emphasizes the crucial role of context, whether biological, environmental, or socio-political, in shaping historical events and human behavior. Number 5. The not-so-glamorous life of pirates. Popular culture often depicts pirates as daring, adventurous rogues sailing the high seas in search of treasure. The reality, however, was far less exciting. While pirates did live outside societal norms, their lives were usually marked by hardship and short lifespans. Sailing on a pirate ship was a dangerous and filthy job with limited access to fresh food and clean water. Diseases like scurvy, resulting from vitamin C deficiency, were widespread. Moreover, pirates were constantly at risk of deadly injuries from battles, storms, or shipwrecks. Pirates practiced a form of democracy on board, where captains and quartermasters were elected by crew members. This was in stark contrast to the rigid hierarchy aboard naval and merchant vessels. Interestingly, pirate ships also provided insurance policies, offering compensation for injuries. Despite the romanticized images of treasure chests and exotic adventures, the reality for most pirates was a tough life at sea, usually ending in violent death or penal servitude. This reality check adds a layer of understanding about life during this period and how the circumstances led many to choose such a harsh way of life. Number 6. The inception and suppression of the Gregorian calendar. The calendar that most of the world uses today, known as the Gregorian calendar, was introduced by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582. It was a modification of the Julian calendar made to bring the date of the spring equinox closer to March 21st, the date it held at the time of the Council of Nicaea in 325. However, the new calendar was not readily accepted everywhere. The change was initially adopted mostly by Catholic countries, while Protestant and Orthodox countries viewed it with suspicion, suspecting a Catholic plot. Great Britain and its colonies, including the future United States, did not adopt the Gregorian calendar until 1752. In Russia, it was not adopted until after the Bolshevik Revolution in 1918. This led to a peculiar situation where different regions observed different dates at the same time. The history of the Gregorian calendar's implementation is a fascinating case of how scientific advancement can become entangled with religious and political skepticism, and how these factors can influence the acceptance of new systems and ideas. Number 7. Napoleon Bonaparte's height misconception. Common historical lore often portrays Napoleon Bonaparte, the renowned French emperor, as being exceptionally short. However, this depiction is largely a result of a misunderstanding. Napoleon was reported to be 5 feet 2 inches tall at the time of his death, but this measurement was in French feet, which are longer than English feet. In English measurements, Napoleon was approximately 5 feet 7 inches tall, which was actually slightly above the average height for Frenchmen of his time. This misunderstanding was further spread by British caricatures of Napoleon, which often exaggerated his short stature as a form of ridicule. While a seemingly minor detail, this common misperception of Napoleon's height serves as a reminder of how biases and inaccuracies can become entrenched in historical narratives. Number 8. The hidden heritage of Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore, known for its giant carvings of 4 U.S. presidents, holds a lesser-known history. Before it became a symbol of American presidential legacy, the area was considered sacred by the Lakota Sioux Native American tribe and was known as the Six Grandfathers. In the Treaty of Fort Laramie in 1868, the U.S. government recognized the Black Hills, where Mount Rushmore is located, as part of the Great Sioux Reservation. However, the discovery of gold led to an influx of settlers, and the U.S. government did not uphold the treaty terms. The creation of Mount Rushmore is a contentious subject, highlighting the complex, often overlooked narratives of indigenous heritage, territorial rights, and national monuments. Number 9. The original purpose of the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is often associated with the idea of keeping invaders like the Mongols out of China. However, its original purpose was not solely defensive. The wall was also a means of regulating trade along the Silk Road. During the reign of Emperor Qin Shi Huang around 221 BC, the existing walls were connected to control immigration and emigration and imposed duties on goods. Guard stations and watchtowers along the wall served as customs posts where taxes could be collected from traders. While the wall did have a military function, its role as a trade regulation mechanism reflects the complex interplay between security, economy, and state control in historical contexts. Number 10. Little Ice Age's impact on European history. Often overshadowed by the focus on political turmoil and cultural revolutions, The Little Ice Age had profound implications on the lives and societies of Europe. Between approximately 1300 to 1850 AD, the average temperature across the northern hemisphere dipped significantly. This caused dramatic shifts in agricultural practices as traditional crops failed, leading to a surge in rye and barley cultivation. The scarcity of warm weather grains like wheat instigated periods of famine, affecting social stability. Moreover, the cooling climate directly influenced art and literature of the era, inspiring creations that reflected the frosty landscape and the struggle for survival. Paintings from the period often showcase winter scenes, a stark contrast to the fertile landscape seen in earlier works. Additionally, the frigid Thames River froze over multiple times, leading to the popular frost fairs held on the ice. Notably, the Little Ice Age also played a role in curtailing the Viking presence in Greenland, as the harsh climate made their agricultural lifestyle unsustainable. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.